Hi everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through every single book I rated 5 stars in 2025. Now, out of the 220 something books I read, I rated 27 of them 5 stars. So today, not only will we be going through them, but I'm going to decide if I still think they're 5 stars. Because there's a few vibe reads that are definitely not 5 stars in hindsight. I'm talking to you, Miss Freida McFadden. I guess let's just go straight into it. I've got the majority of them I have as physical copies because I want books that I rate highly, but there are a few I read on Kindle Unlimited. So let's go through the stacks I'm looking at right now. In January, I had one 5-star read and it was Glint by Raven Kennedy. I actually filmed an entire reading vlog finding my first 5-star of the year. And this, of course, was the book. And this is the second book in the Plated Prisoners series. I absolutely still think this is 5 stars. I cannot believe I haven't continued, but it's because the books get like 700 pages plus after this and I'm intimidated. If you read the first book in this series and thought it was okay, but you don't really want to continue, please power through. I rated the first one 3.5, I think. This was a masterpiece. Think of the first book as like a prologue or an intro or even a novella, even though it's like 350 pages. It reads more of a setup for the actual story that you start to get in this book. It is definitely a fantasy first. There are a couple crumbs of romance that happen right at the end of this, but I don't think the romance really starts at all until book 3. So if you want a slow burn, this is a series for you. And it's also a King Midas retelling. It is dark though, I will say. Messed up about the way they treat women. Moving on to February, I had another 5-star read, and that was We Used to Live Here by Marcus Clewear. This is absolutely still 5 stars. This is a horror book that had me literally taking notes to try and figure out what the hell was going on, because it is like going, oh my god, like I assume this is what tripping feels like. I can't believe I sounded so nerdy. But this is about 2 women. They are a couple. They are house flipping, and one of the women is, much like me, doesn't like to say no to people, is kind of a people pleaser, finds it hard to stand up for herself, and she's alone at the house when a family comes to the door and is like, oh, I used to live here when I was little, I grew up here, can I show my kids around what it was like growing up? And she doesn't know how to say no, so she says yes, and then they won't leave, and it just devolves from there. This was so creepy, and I am so excited that Marcus Clewear is coming out with a new book this year. I will absolutely be reading it. In March, I had 4 5-star reads, and the first one was Pen Pal by JT Geisinger. Looking back, I don't know if this is a 5-star because it definitely wasn't perfect. There was a lot of scenes in this that I kind of skimmed over. So I don't know why I rated this 5 stars. I think it was because the twist this book pulled, I've never seen done before. I've never read anything like it before, and I still haven't. It was very good. It was very easy, fast-paced mystery, but it was way too smutty, in my opinion. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Those were the scenes I skipped. So I don't think it would still be a 5-star, but the plot, so good. Then we have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Yes, absolutely, this is still a 5-star read. I actually don't think I'm a hater of the pregnancy trope, but if you are, I think this will change your mind. This is about 2 people who have a one-night stand at a Halloween party, and then she finds out she's pregnant. They decide to keep the baby and raise it together as friends, and the guy is with her throughout all her appointments and everything, and then things start to develop. I already knew going into this I would love this, and I'm gonna get emotional if I talk too long about it. But basically, this is a story about a guy with he's got a amputated leg, and the girl has a limb difference in her arm, and so does the author. I'm very open about the fact that my mum has one arm. I think it's one of the first things I talk about when I tell people because I think it's so cool. But it's not the acknowledgements because it comes at the beginning. I don't know what you call it. Author's note. The author's note made me cry. I knew this would be 5 stars because I hadn't even started it, and the author's note made me cry. This representation will always be so important to me, and the way it was done in the story was just incredible. I'm going to move on now before I start to get upset, but I would absolutely recommend. Oh my goodness. Then we have a complete change of vibe. We have Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. When I heard this was a dark rom-com, I was skeptical. This had me giggling and kicking my feet. This had me laughing out loud, and then the next second absolutely grossed out by the brutal descriptions of how these people are murdering other people. This is a story about two serial killers, but they're the good kind of serial killers, if you could even say that. They kill bad guys, basically. And they make this like competition where once a year they both have to try and hunt down a bad guy, and whoever kills them first wins. And they fall in love while it happens. I am not doing this book justice, but trust me when I tell you it was such a fun time. I loved this whole trilogy, but the first one was my favourite. But it does introduce you to other characters who also get their own books. This is three brothers and they each get their own story. I love this book. And then we have Mile High by Liz Tomfordi. I absolutely still think this is 5 stars. I loved this book so much. For a romance book that's over 500 pages, it never once felt like it was dragged out. It never once felt too long. I devoured every page of it and I would read more. I love the body positivity in this book. I love the side characters that I know now have their own books, and I will absolutely be reading them. Then in April, I had 2 5-star reads. The first one was Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. My god, am I obsessed with the writing in this book, and I also love the message, the female empowerment, absolutely. I would say go into this book blind. Not only did I tab it, but I also highlighted and annotated it. The amount of quotes in this that I absolutely love. It is so poetic and beautiful, while also being so mysterious and tense. Read this book. And then we have a book that changed the thriller genre for me. This book is 5 stars. It is 6 stars. It is so good. This is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. From 50% of the way into this book, I was gasping out loud every other page. The turns this takes, you will never ever be able to guess or grasp how she has done this. This is a masterpiece. This is absolutely amazing. I've been trying to chase the high of this book ever since. It's one of the darkest and most disturbing books I have ever read, and it is perfection. In May, I had 6 5-star reads, so this should be interesting to figure out what order I read these in. We have Incidents Around the House by Josh Malerman. This is a horror book that had me sleeping with the lights on. This is about a little girl who has a mummy and a daddy and other mummy who talks to her at night, and other mummy every night says to her, "Can I go into your heart?" And every night she says no, but other mummy is getting more and more pushy about it, and she is scared that one day she will have to say yes. I have got full body shivers right now just saying that out loud because of how visceral the horror imagery in this book is. It is also written from the perspective of the, I think, 8-year-old girl, so it's very young language, it's very disjointed writing. Let me see if I can show you. So like it's written in the way her mind is working. It's using young language, it's using disjointed speech, and that makes it all the more creepier. Then we have a book from one of my favourite authors. This is The Appeal by Janice Hallett. Absolute perfection. I have talked about this author so many times. I've read her entire backlist. All her books are through mixed media. It is so unique. I've just found like literal a page I had to write down of notes in here. This one is about a drama group where a murder's happened, and we're following from the perspective of 2 law students who've been assigned this case. So we're getting emails from them back and forth, and then we're getting all the documents of the things that have happened throughout the case, and every so often we're getting them emailing like, did you catch that bit? Did you see this bit? But we're also getting text messages, we're getting message exchange between emails, bulletin boards throughout like the play, and you're trying to figure out who done it, who's dead, who has an alibi, who, all sorts of stuff. I cannot again do it justice, but it is so good. I'd recommend anything from this author, but this one especially. Then we have A Heart Full of Hatred by Derek Landy, the 17th book in the Skullduggery Pleasant series. This is a 5-star read for nostalgia. I started this series when I was a child. I followed it through to adulthood. I reread it probably once a year, at least the first few books anyway. So whenever there is a new book, it's going to get a 5 stars. Definitely not my favourite in the series, definitely not the strongest one in the series, but the series as a whole is got it to me. Then we have The Tenant by Frida McFadden. I rated it 5 stars. Was it arguably 5 stars? Probably not. Probably none of her books are. But to me, the ultimate vibe read is reading a new Frida book. I buddy read them with bestie Ellen, and we never guessed the plot twist. She's got closer than me. But theorising with her reading a book by Frida is unmatched, so I have to give it 5 stars. For you guys though, probably not. And we have the most messed up horror book. This is Brother by Ania Alborn. serial killer cannibals brothers. I'm not going to tell you anymore. Would I recommend it? Maybe not, because of how grossed out I was, but it was 5 stars, so yes, absolutely, if that makes any sense at all. And then this was the month that I read Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Yeah, absolutely 5 stars. The cliffhanger of this book is making me mad thinking about it, just because I have to know the answers, and the fact that I know I'm not getting another book anytime soon is making me go crazy low-key. This was so good. This was so good. There was so much plot and fantasy plot as well. The romance kind of, it didn't take a back seat, but it was much more plot heavy, and I loved that. Okay, in June I had no 5 stars. Great, well let's move on. July I had 4. Okay. First up, we had a perfect book to get me out of a slump. This is Cycle of the Werewolf by Stephen King. This is such a unique book. My book club is actually reading this right now, and I'm loving seeing people react. This is a horror novella, but it's also illustrated with some of the most amazing pictures, but also gruesome. They get more gruesome as they go, so I can show you this one, but I probably couldn't show you the later ones because I don't know if YouTube would like it. It is so good. It is told throughout, I think, a year, because it's each cycle of the werewolf. You are trying to figure out throughout this who the werewolf is, if there's multiple werewolves, who keeps dying, who is responsible. It is so good, and for such a short book, it was absolutely amazing. Then we have an emotional read. It is going to make you angry, and it is supposed to. This is Where Sleeping Girls Lie by Farida Abike Amidi. This is the author of Ace of Spades, which again was a 5-star read for me. This is Dark Academia. It is mystery, it is tragedy, it is feminine rage at its finest. I don't want to tell you more because I'm going to get choked up, but also because I think I loved it so much because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Like, it just kept getting better and better. All I knew was that it was Dark Academia, and it is so much more than that. And I listened to Listen to the Lie by Amy Tintera. I would absolutely recommend listening to this because the audiobook is phenomenal. This is about a girl who everyone is convinced murdered her best friend. She has no memory of that night, and even she is kind of convinced, like, I must have done it if all the evidence leads to it. And as an adult, there is a true crime, I can't remember if it's like a true crime podcast or like a documentary being shot about it and wanting to uncover the truth, and she goes along because she needs the truth for herself as well. The audiobook is so good in the way that it does the full cast of characters and the way that it incorporates the documentary and podcast into it. It was so good. It was also so funny. She had me laughing out loud at the dark humour she was giving. This was really fun. Then we have a very dark, twisted book. This is Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. Some people would call this dark romance. I would argue romance doesn't even come into this book until maybe this much left. Most of this is about a woman in an abusive relationship. You can see how she has clearly been mind controlled into thinking everything is her fault. However, the subplot that is going on with FBI and a serial killer and these murders and Shallow Hill the place and the mother in this book was so good. This is what I mean by, like, we didn't need the romance. It didn't happen till here, and we didn't even need it because there was so much more keeping you going, but you also knew that the romance was going to happen. Absolutely amazing. I think I read this one and Listen for the Lie in a readathon at some point, but yeah, really good. August, I had 2 5-star reads. The first one was The Grey Shear by Kim Liggett. I have seen a lot of people hate this ending, but to me, it just made complete sense. In this story, girls have evil. They are born evil, and they're going to get this evil magic when they turn 16. So at 16, all the girls in the village are banished for a year to rid themselves of this magic that lures men into their beds and tempts boys and makes them evil because they control men with this magic. And you are following a girl that is about to turn 16, and she goes away, and you uncover what really happens in that year away and how corrupt it all is. It made me so mad, and again, that is what it is supposed to do. This was so good. And we have Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. I love Lisa Jewell, and this book was no different. I was literally thinking about this book the other day, and it has been, what, 6 months since I've read it? This is about a daughter who has recently lost her dad, and her mum ends up finding this new man and letting him in, but she is convinced there is something wrong with this guy. Her mum doesn't want to hear it. She's just found love after loss. She wants to be happy. She doesn't want to have these doubts about where this man goes when he goes away for days at a time. But her daughter's wanting to find out the truth, and we follow her as she does. And my god, is this man something else, that's all I'll say. In September, I had 1 5-star, and that was Desperate Run by M.L. Barnes and C.J. Riggs. Yeah, this was 5 stars. This book is so unique. I have never seen anything done quite like this, and so underrated. This is a dark romantic suspense. The actual romance in the book is not dark, but they both have very dark things happened in their past, happening in the present, but they help each other. The actual romance is actually really sweet. This is about a carnival for ultimate horror fans. It's like a traveling circus thing. It is $10,000 a ticket, and you sign away basically your rights. There's these different haunted houses, but throughout the 48-hour weekend, if you're caught by one of the catchers, they can do anything to you. They could even kill you. Like, you are signing away your, I don't know, like your life really, if you get caught, if you get chosen, because it is for the ultimate horror thrill. It is about that risk. We are following a girl who gets tickets and a hunter who chooses her. I have another vlog posted. A lot of these are in vlogs because I picked them thinking I'm gonna have a good experience, so I want you guys to see it with me. This was so much more than I thought it was ever gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a book that was like so bad it was entertaining. No, this is perfection. It made me cry. Then we have my best reading month of the year. I read 10 books and 4 of them were 5 stars. The first one was Rose in Chains by Julie Soto. Oh my goodness. This was so good. This is fantasy romance, but I would argue again, romance doesn't even really happen till right until the end. We're on such a cliffhanger. I need the next book. I didn't realise it wasn't a standalone, and we don't even have a release date for the next book, I don't think. But it was absolutely amazing. So dark and twisted, but so good. And of course, on this list, one of my favourite books of the whole year. I mean, they all are, but this one is absolutely up here. We have Alchemized by Sen Lin Yu. I would like to draw attention to the tabs. This camera is not doing it justice. There are so many of them. This book made me cry so many times. It was so good. It was uncomparable to anything else ever. This is a dark fantasy. I don't know why it's been marketed as a romantasy from anyone, because it's not. Yes, there's romance in this book. No, it's not romantasy. This is fantasy. This is about war. This is about oppression. This has so many real life comparisons to things going on in the real world. And oh my god, was it tragic. It really was a life-changing experience reading this book. It consumed me day and night, and I need this experience again in my lifetime. Then we have The Intruder by Freida McFadden. This is not a 5-star. I don't even think I thought it was when I rated it that, but again, it's Freida and I love her books. This was arguably not even good. The plot twist was just there for the sake of like, this is how you're not going to be able to guess it. It's going to make no sense. It's honestly, it's one that kind of annoys me. It was good, but it was absolutely not 5 stars. However, one that was 5 stars is another Janice Hallett book. This is The Killer Question, and this is based on a pub that I live right by. This is about a weekly pub quiz night, and it's told through mainly like the actual pub quizzes that are set, and a new group of people come in and they keep getting like 100% answers, and people are like, how have they managed that? There's also murder and stuff in it, but it is so fun trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this book. I absolutely loved it. I devoured it. It was so good. In November, I had 2 5 stars. The first one is The One by John Mars. This is absolutely amazing. This book is set in the near future, where a dating app has figured out how to find you your perfect DNA match. You spit into a tube and you send it off, and once your ideal DNA match has done the same thing, you will be matched. How far would you go for love? Because DNA does not care if your match is a serial killer, if your match is already dead, if your match is 40 years older than you, is married, is a guy, and you've thought you're straight your whole life. We follow, I think, 7 different people who are finding their match, and all the ways this supposedly amazing thing can and will go horribly, horribly wrong. Yeah, this was something else. I absolutely loved it. It was crazy. And then we have my final 5-star read of the whole year because I didn't have any in December. And that is Where's Molly by H.D. Colton. This is the second H.D. Colton in here. I think I've rated everything from her 5 stars. This was so good. If you've read the Cat and Mouse duet, when what happens to Addie happens to her, spoiler free, she finds a diary from someone called Molly and it stops and she wonders in the back of her mind, like, why did the diary stop? Did she escape? Where did she go? Well, you're gonna find out in Molly's book. This was so good. Molly is such a badass. It's dark and twisted and messed up, but it is so good, like so unexpectedly good. Because staring into her eyes is the only thing I needed to convince myself she's everything I'll ever want for as long as oxygen invades my lungs. I knew it deep in my bones the day I met her. Even back then, my soul immediately recognized hers as its other half. I'm overcome with the urge to show her just how wrong she is. She's mine as explicitly as the heart in my chest. I chuckle, glancing at Molly and finding her biting back a smile. One of those days, I'll teach her how to set them free. Oh, I could cry. I love this book. And those were all the books I rated 5 stars in 2025. Most of them I would still rate 5 stars. There were a few there that were a little bit iffy, but overall, this was such a fun video to make. Let me know what you rated 5 stars in 2025, but also if you've read any of these books, let me know what you rated them. If you'd like to see more from me, please be sure to like and subscribe as I post new videos every single week. That's all from me. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you in another video. Bye!